what really made it difficult to go through medical school, especially doing it in a foreign country when I came in, were these top 5 things. And this is something that I've compiled throughout the years, experiencing it over and over again, and I feel like I really need to get this out there. Number 1 was the language barrier. Like, coming to Prague, I was just like, it was a process trying to speak to people and communicate to them using a combination of Google Translate as well as my non-existent Czech. Like, at some point I might as well have shown them some picture of whatever I was trying to talk about, then explain it with English. And that becomes really difficult, especially when you have to go from the setting of, okay, trying to sort out, documentation and groceries and whatever. Sure, that's one side of the language barrier, especially when you come to a new country. It's just something that you need to get used to. But it's a different side to things when you have to do an exam and what you're trying to say does not get across to a professor. Like, I understand the fact that, sure, your native language can be something else than English, but it's also important that for exams, there should be a standardization of what's expected from a student, especially when the examination is viva based or oral based. And because of it, it's very hard to understand what is expected of a student. And of course, if it's written, then yes, you have more proof of what exactly is expected and if it matches with a standard that could be decided upon. But when the language barrier actually interferes with your exam performance, it can be quite problematic. And this leads up to the next set of problems, which is mental breakdowns. Yes, it's number 2 on the spot after language barrier, because honestly, the language barrier can lead to the mental breakdowns, especially if you fail your exams, and then this can lead to you repeating a year, or it can cause undue stress when you have multiple things to handle. Like, especially it's difficult to say that, oh, okay, you just have exams to deal with in university, because unlike school, you would have to handle, especially if you're an immigrant, you would have to handle visa appointments, so you have to organize documents for it, and in the middle of it, you also got to handle your exams, and there could be other issues, like something could be going wrong with the house and you would have to manage it on your own. There's a list of things that happen, and of course, when it gets a bit too much, it leads to breakdown, whether it be physical or mental. Because of this, I do think it's important that you develop a good mental health care routine. Like, I can mention the language barrier being an issue, and if that causes exam stress and ultimately leads to triggering a string of events that happen later on, then a mental breakdown is inevitable. Number 3 would be toxic people. Like, I'm not just talking about whoever you have to deal with from a professional standpoint, but rather your peers, the people that you work with, the ones that are in the same situation as you, especially the students that you're studying with. Like, hey, we're all in the same boat. Like, why do you have to throw one person under to reach a certain point in life? Like, I don't understand this. Like, achieve your goals by just putting other people down. Like, yes, I get the fact that you could be competitive, but there needs to be healthy competition. And there are times wherein people are just mean to you for no reason, or you get the fact that you're both working towards the same thing. And yes, you can stack your CV up with other skills that you don't need to tell everyone about. But the simple premise of, when you see someone in class and they just rude to you for no reason, or, they just act childish. Like, come on, you're in university, you've transitioned from school. Like, don't be petty. Like, don't just try to steal someone's pen or something. I mean, that's a trivial issue, but it gets even worse when, for example, you're done with the class, you're a bit exhausted, and sure enough, you're just walking out, there's another group of people in front of you, and because of their beef with you, they decide to slam a door in your face or something. I mean, of course, if you have quick reflexes, you can evade it, sure, but otherwise, you're just like, what kind of behavior is this? Like, I just don't understand. Like, if someone performs better at you than an exam, then you're kind of passive aggressive. Like, what? It's just annoying. The 4th point being that just because you have a medical degree, and even if you do have a stacked CV with all the requirements for the place you want to match into, it can still be difficult finding a job. So it's important that you don't lose hope and continue looking for a job, but also be warned that a lot of people will be fighting for the same position, and it can be a difficult process. And don't leave it up to chance or the last minute to hope to get a job, but rather work on it from the beginning, because a medical degree alone does not suffice if you want to get especially a position in the UK or the US, and you do have to build on it. Fifth, I would say the fifth one is the most important gripe, because as an Indian coming to Europe, I'm just like, man, where the hell are the spices? Like, I can't just consider salt and pepper alone to be enough spice in food. Like, what? Where is the chili powder? Like, where is the turmeric powder? Like, I need more spice in my food, you know? And when I first came to Prague, this was around 2017, I was just like dying to find a good place to eat at. And it was tough, but after much digging, I realized some of the pizza places were good. I mean, I found one good pizza place that became my go-to, and yeah, I lost faith in the Indian restaurants. But luckily, after COVID, there were a lot more dosa startups, and because of that, I was like, yeah, you're charging me way too much for a dosa, but I'm craving one right now. Just take my money, yeah. But yeah, food can be a hassle. Like, learn to cook. Luckily, I could cook my own meal, so it wasn't as bad. But of course, during exam season, you just gotta rely on restaurants to get you through. Otherwise, you're gonna have to spend more money passing your exams.